divine source, the divine masculine and feminine. We call upon our spirit guides, angels, ascended masters, light beings and galactic guides, our ancestors, nature spirits, and animal guides. We call upon Archangel Michael, Narsimha, and Hanuman to protect us in the sacred journey. We invite in Ganesh to open the path and remove any obstacles. And we invite in Thoth, the keeper of time and wisdom, to open the gates for the Akashic records so that we may download knowledge. Spirit guides, we also ask as we sit here tonight with Jennifer that you invite in her higher self and any of her guides as well. We ask to channel knowledge of anything that is in her energy field that is blocking her from moving forward, any limiting beliefs that she may hold, and any self-doubt that is in her way from moving forward and manifesting the beautiful divine life that she wants and deserves. And any other knowledge that you feel is of her highest good at this moment. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And with that, the sacred circle is now open. Namaste.
As Jacqueline was opening, I was seeing myself in what to me feels like a bedroom. And it has a window that is up near the wall, almost like the kind of bedroom you'd see maybe in like on a ground level or something like that. The window is up near the wall, and I could tell that there was a storm outside because I could see the lightning and hear the thunder. And I'm seeing a very large, big pine tree standing. And I feel like maybe at some point the pine tree had been in the past hit by lightning, but was still somehow living. And I felt this like sort of fear coming from, I don't know that it was this tree, but the fear that the same thing was going to happen again, like the fear that lightning was going to strike in the same spot again. And it was just this feeling of being in bed and looking out the window and just having some fear with the storm. And it's like all of a sudden this feeling of being in the dark, and then all of a sudden there's a flash of light, and it's like you can see clearly for a split second. And it's interesting because the energy of the tree feels to me very masculine. I don't know, it feels like a manly pine tree, a manly pine tree. I've never experienced that before with a tree. Um, and there's this energy coming in where it feels almost like there's something like secretive or something that's being kept around the tree, and then like all of a sudden, boom, you're seeing the truth of something in a flash of lightning. And there's this fear of seeing that same truth again. That's all I'm getting for now. I'm gonna sit with it and see where it's taking me and what spirit wants to say about this. I do think what they're saying to me right off the bat is that lightning's not going to strike in the same place again. Like that can to not be concerned about that.
So as you were speaking, Dana, I felt that bolt of energy of um, lightning come in on the left side on the top of my head. And for me, that the left side is my masculine side, so I definitely made that connection as well. And spirit is actually taking me into this scene, and I'm seeing these little kids. So just for reference, there's this castle that I always journey to. It's come up multiple times for me, and it is in this valley. There's nothing around, and it's usually snowing. And that's kind of, I'm seeing this scene like far away from the castle, but still like on the outskirts of it. And what's interesting is I'm actually feeling that. So there's like, I don't know, let's say four little kids, and I want to say they're like 5 to 7, and they're playing in the snow, they're laughing, they're having a good time. And all of a sudden, there's this male figure who's, I feel like he's like 7 feet tall, and he's dressed like a warrior or a knight, and um, well, with like a headpiece on, and not the breastplate or shield or anything, but he's wearing all black and a black cape, and he has this axe, and it's just this really tall, powerful energy, and he's just looming like over these kids, and it feels like they were so happy and joyful, and then all of a sudden they, I don't know if he kicked one of them or he pushed one of them, but they just got really frightened and annoyed. And something I think is very interesting is that where I'm seeing the kids and this man is literally right on the edge of this portal. It's like there's this portal of energy that is surrounding this whole area in this castle, which is something I've never seen before in this scene. Um, and I feel like Spirit is saying here, like, you're on the edge of something. You're on the edge of going through some type of portal. And something I find interesting about Spirit bringing forth this whole scene and the lightning that Dana brought through is we did a journey for the summer, or for the winter solstice rather. And I was in the same scene, and lightning came forward in that scene as well, in that journey. And I remember Spirit saying something about when we go into fear, there's that like fight, flight, or freeze state. And Spirit was speaking about the freeze state. And they were saying, like, when we're scared, right, we can go into that space of being frozen, but also there's an energy that Spirit was bringing forth in that journey. And I feel like now, too, with the lightning, it's like you can be quote unquote frozen in a good way. Like it was about being still and sitting with the emotion and sitting with the awareness and being mindful about that state, and that'll help you move forward. But I definitely feel like there's more to the scene, so that's all for now. I'll keep sitting with it.
What Spirit's showing me is they're showing me a pile of like firewood. Um it's in like a backyard. It's against the side of a building, and it's like a spot where all the firewood is put. And then I'm seeing an outdoor like fire pit, like a metal sort of fire pit that has like this dome screen that you can take off and put the fire on. And I'm seeing this like fire being built in this outdoor fire pit. And I'm seeing like what looks like a lawn chair next to it. And I'm getting the like feeling of you, Jennifer, sitting in this lawn chair next to the fire by this fire pit, and you have like a notebook, and it's a notebook that like opens from the top, and it has um like lined paper on it, and you have a pen, and I feel like you're like writing things on the paper, and then you're wadding them up and throwing them into the fire. Um, and I feel like Spirit's saying a couple things here. One is they're showing me the tree again, and they're showing me the lightning hitting. And like, yes, the lightning hit, and then something happened to the tree, and it wound up getting chopped up, and it's now fueling this fire pit. But it's saying like, I feel like you're burning away things that like aren't working or aren't like what you want them to be to make room that the thing for the things that you do want. And they're saying something about sort of like the balance of in order to get what you want, like something, you know, like something had to be sacrificed. And at first it seems sad that there was this huge tree that was sacrificed, but it really is a kindling for things going forward. And I feel like it's very much connected to like it feels connected to a couple things. One, it feels connected to like a concept of masculine energy in your life or how masculine energy connects to manifesting and how it connects to releasing things in order to allow room for new things to come in, but also may feel connected to um it feels like it's somehow connected to finances and to bringing in Spirit's not showing me this, but I'm just really feeling it. It feels connected to how you may bring money in and how you want to bring money into your life. And it feels like it's connected to feelings around that. Um, and this like fire pit, I feel like around it is like potted plants. I can see plants that are kind of hanging down the sides of pots. There may be herbs in pots. This feels like a really like I know, it feels like a really nice place to sit by the fire with the potted plants. And again, there's that sense of it being dark all around the fire and not being able to really see anything other than the fire and the chair you're sitting in and the pots that are immediately around it. But there's such a warm and cozy feeling connected with it. And I almost feel like Spirit's saying something about like hugging the fire right now, about like now being a time to hug the fire and like release, and as you're releasing it's making the space for manifesting and really seeing what's right in front of you very clearly before you open up to seeing what's beyond you very clearly. And now they're showing me a man wearing a flannel shirt. He feels like almost like lumberjack-esque to me, like again with the tree. um I feel like he's chopping the tree, but then like he takes off his lumberjack shirt and it's just like a t-shirt under it, you know, and I feel like he was getting hot chopping the tree, wearing the like flannel shirt, but now he's okay now that he's in a t-shirt. He feels more relaxed and less like hot or overwhelmed or burdened. And that feels like that's really going to help something. And they're also showing me the areas of your body that are like lit up right now, like with fire, is your lower three chakras, like the root, the sacral, and the solar plexus chakra, and they each hold a different color of like a fire flame, and they're learning how to like burn as one flame together. Um, and it feels like it's igniting something, and it feels like it's heating up, like the heart chakra, and heating your upper chakras up. And it feels like this is connected to like being grounded and rooted and like financial, something about financial security, financial independence, about willpower, about motivation and personal power is going to heat up everything else for you. And to really notice how you feel when this is happening, like how you feel it in your body, where you're feeling it in these chakras. And if you feel something, to bring it up. They're saying it's really important that you speak up and talk about these feelings that you're having, both within your body, but within how your body is responding to your emotions and your mind and all of the interactions that you're having, to just to speak to it.
Well, right now I'm sitting still, but I'm spinning.
If you need to like ground yourself or feel nauseous, like take a nice deep breath in. It's a lot of energy coming through, so
Yeah.
you have
I
to
mean,
When you
breathe.
it's not making me nauseous, like the
Okay,
way you would get
good.
if you're dizzy.
Mm.
But I just can't stop. My eyes are closed. I know I'm sitting in this car, but yet I'm spitting.
Mm-hmm. It's normal to have like physical, you know, reactions to this kind of energy coming in and opening up and everything.
It's very normal. Just breathing through it is our best tool. When you said you were spinning, I saw you on a carousel, and I felt like it was going too fast, and then it slowed down, and now I see you sitting on a horse, and it's like it feels like it's getting more leisurely, like the sense of you, leaning into the ride a little more.
Mm, okay.
I want to share what I was seeing as Dina. It totally ties into what you were saying. Um, Even from the very moment that I started to open the first time too. I could feel my throat chakra just like closing and clenching up. And it was like I have done that opening I can't so many times. Like it's never a problem, but I could just feel like the words coming out of my mouth was such a hard thing to do tonight. And and I even felt in like the way that I speak, it wasn't me. It wasn't normal. Like there was something like I felt like I was lower voice, maybe mumbling a little bit. Even now I can feel it. I just feel this fear of speaking. And what I was seeing I'm still in that space where the castle is, and it's snowing, it's winter, it's nighttime. And I was seeing you standing there, and this male figure being, he came and he stood in front of you, and it was like there was a zipper running from your head to your toe on your body, and he unzipped it, and then he pulled back all of you except for the flesh. And he has these metal like iron rods that are arrows. And it's interesting, there's all this fire energy coming through, because the tip of this arrow, it was like it was in the fire, it's like red hot. And I can see him going in, and it's not like he's shooting the arrow at you, but he's taking the rod, and he's like very meticulously going in to the throat chakra. And to me, I feel like Spirit is saying a lot of different things. One, I feel like this arrow, that at first I thought he was kind of there to harm your throat chakra, but now I feel like the way in which he's coming to your throat chakra, and like with the arrow and being very specific about it, I feel like he's a guide kind of helping to release energy that's stuck in there, but at very specific points, almost like acupuncture. And what else I'm feeling about this whole like unzipping of your body is that, one, I feel like someone came in and kind of overstepped your boundaries. And I feel like Spirit is asking you, one, to hold those better boundaries, and also like, um, Dana and I can show you after, is like putting up an energy shield sometimes as an extra layer of protection. But in real life, just like holding a strong boundary with your energy field so that you're not allowing like other people to come and overstep those boundaries. Um, and I also feel like there's a message here about the stripping away of things. Even though it was kind of like, yeah, this person unzipped your energy and kind of came in, but I feel like Spirit is also asking you like to really strip away what you don't need, and ask yourself, what is the core? What is the root of this block or issue? And how can you find that and then be able to come and zip yourself back up, so to speak, and hold that firm boundary? But it's definitely, I can feel, yeah, a lot in the throat chakra from this scene. And like I said, I think it's interesting with the arrow tip being red hot, like it was in the fire. So I feel like whatever is happening here, it's definitely like a root chakra and throat chakra. I think both of them are coming forward very strong and connected somehow. That is all I have for now.
I have a female spirit here, and it's interesting because she kind of looks like you, but she has like a mother or a grandmother or some older female relative energy coming through. But even if she's not your mother, the energy feels very motherly. She's wearing jeans, and again with a flannel shirt. She has a flannel shirt on and a pair of like white sneakers. But they're not the kind of sneakers people wear now. They almost look like kid sneakers, but they feel there's a dated feeling to her, like maybe this is from the 60s or 70s. And she's showing me a whole series of butterflies, and she's showing me like the cocoon, and then she's showing me that where the butterfly is like emerging from before it goes into the cocoon where it's emerging from the cocoon, and then where it kind of comes out and flies away as a butterfly. And this is a monarch butterfly, the yellow and black ones. But I don't know if monarchs have red in them traditionally, but this has a little bit of red in it. And again with the colors of the fire. And what's interesting is as the butterfly like flies away out of the thing, there's a whole bunch of like it's flying over like a whole row of trees, like, and it's this time of year like where the trees don't have leaves on them. It feels like she's saying something about winter in this as well, and about being in the stage that we're in when we're in it, and knowing that we're like a butterfly coming out of a cocoon, you know, and we're kind of like everything has its place and its time for how we're feeling it and why we're feeling it. And she's almost as if she's like growing this butterfly. She has long hair that she sometimes puts up with barrettes on either side, these sort of thick barrettes. I feel like her hair is very thick and it's long dark hair. She has like very sort of very pale skin, very like pale flawless skin. I feel like she was very into taking care of her skin and making sure she washed it and, you know, just did what she needed to do, keep it looking nice. And she may have been into gardening because she's showing me herself, and again with the pots and plants in it, of like planting seeds in pots and like picking the weeds and growing them and then harvesting the things that she's growing. I get the sense that maybe she didn't have a space to really grow things the way she might want it to, but that she grew them in pots still. Like she was still able to do what she wanted to do. It just looked a little different than how she would ideally want to do something. But yeah, it still like brought her a lot of joy and satisfaction, and she was able to like literally plant and harvest and use and like go through this whole cycle with what she was doing. I feel like she may have been an aunt or a friend of your mother's that passed away. I would say she passed in her 50s. But that she comes around you and kind of like wants to nourish you through this process of you nourishing yourself. I feel she's also comes and sits with you at night on the side of your bed, and just watches over you, just keeps watch over you in a very protective and safe way. I almost see her like stroking the top of your head, like she's comforting you and giving you, you know, support and patience and advice too somehow. I feel like she's like saying that, like, she's saying very directly, like she's like, you are not only a butterfly, but you are the butterfly. And all of a sudden I'm hearing the Muhammad Ali quote, like, it's like float like a butterfly and sting like a bee. Um and I feel like she's showing me like boxing gloves that are hanging in your closet. um she's like, you're a butterfly, but like you can also, like, it's okay if you have this other side to you, that if you need to put the gloves on, you can too. And I feel like she's also saying something about, like, if you're sensing any energy around you, especially at night, that you can call on her, but also know that it's her as well. Um, and that this is a spot or a point of, like, a way that you can start communicating and making connection is through like her love and support, and she can help you with expanding from there as you're desiring, or as you're ready, or as you feel is right.
Well, I'm seeing this woman. Oh, she's maybe in her 20s, late 20s, and she's definitely from the 50s. And she's wearing this blue skirt, those like skirts that go out, and it has a poodle on it. Um, and she has blonde hair, maybe just like slightly past her shoulders, but it's half up in a barrette, and she has a magic wand. And I was sitting with her for a while because she just kept spinning around um and waving her wand, and she's looking up and she is like so joyous and happy, and she just has this beautiful energy as she's spinning around. And I was wondering, like, why am I just seeing her spinning? And then I realized spirit showed me it's actually a music box, and I can sitting like next to your bed, like on a table. And spirit is saying, like, whether you actually have a music box or not, that um to before you go to bed, sit down, close your eyes, and just listen to the sound of the music, and also just receive this feminine, healing, joyful energy, and allow it to wash all over your body. And if you want, you can even, like, I feel like humming along to the music will help, like, the vibration in your throat just by humming. You don't have to sing or um, speak, just softly humming will, the vibration of that will activate the throat chakra and allow you one, to release, but then also to allow in this sound vibration. The ears are connected to the throat chakra, so listening to this music, or even going further, like listening to, I don't know if you've ever heard about like solfeggio frequencies, like different frequencies. There are specific frequencies for each chakra. So maybe like listening to a throat chakra frequency um, before you go to bed will help you, especially in your dreams, to receive this energy and um, to help heal it. That's all I have for now. One thing that I want to mention while it's in my mind is, I know it's kind of a funny, like technical error, right? Like me putting myself on mute and earlier, and you couldn't hear me, and I literally did the whole sacred prayer, and then I saw Dana's message. But everything happens for a reason, and I think that's just like a further message from spirit that, like, I was sitting here speaking for a good 2 minutes and neither of you could hear me. And I think spirit with that is saying, like, literally, don't put yourself on mute. Like, allow yourself to be heard by others and not just for yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. It's as you were saying that, Jacqueline, I just got the like strangest little spirit flash of information. I saw you, Jennifer, sitting on the sofa, and I couldn't see someone with you, but I know that you were sitting on the sofa with someone because you had a big bowl of popcorn. And I just definitely two people eating the popcorn out of it, and you were watching The Office on TV, like the sitcom. And there was this episode where Michael Scott was like throwing a party downstairs, and he wanted everyone to hear him, so he got on a chair and held the speaker up to the floor so people would hear the music on the next level and come down to join in the party. And I felt like you were watching this on the TV, and you were watching like this episode with someone and eating popcorn and just like laughing at like how ridiculous he was being, you know? Um and I felt like spirit was just highlighting this like speaker being held up, like to say like, yes, like really like speak. Just like speak up no matter how ridiculous it might feel like what you're doing is. It's okay. Like in the end you got people to come downstairs and it worked for him, you know. I'm also seeing a notebook. It's like a small little hardcover notebook. I feel like spirit is like I'm seeing you writing in it, and I feel like they're saying something about really like writing things down. Maybe this is something you're already doing, or like they're calling that out, or I just like can see like pages and pages of like really tight handwriting, just like straight up handwriting. And I feel like this is on the nightstand next to your bed. I feel like they're saying to keep this like notebook next to your bed. Um, I almost feel like writing either first thing in the morning or even in the middle of the night if you wake up, um, before you go to bed. There's something about writing in the notebook and bedtime and nighttime and connected somehow to before and after and even during sleeping. Um, I'm also seeing like I feel like I'm seeing like your nightstand, and I see the journal, and I'm seeing a aromatherapy diffuser, one of those little like diffuser things that's next to it, and I can see the lights on it. Like my diffuser can set the different colored lights, and I'm seeing again with the yellow and orange and red lights on the diffuser, and I can see the area where the water comes out and the scent comes out. Um, I feel like they're like saying something about this whole little like nice little nookie area of like about a bedtime ritual or a nighttime ritual of um connecting and grounding and just being able to connect with and express yourself. What's interesting too is they're showing me the flower, the geranium, like the red geraniums, and I can also like very much smell the geranium. It's a really strong kind of like earthy flower scent. It's coming through really strongly for me. um I don't know about a geranium and its like metaphysical properties or anything like that. I don't think it's super common as one to be worked with, but I feel like there's something about this geranium flower and the way it smells and looks that is coming through for you. And the flower seems really happy. It feels like a really happy flower. It's like it feels like it's standing up very proudly. Spirit's showing me a tree again. And instead of being like the pine tree and having this like really masculine feel to it, it's a really large tree that's almost the same size as the pine tree, just a little smaller, but it's rounded and it's like glowing. Um, like almost like I can see the trees like aura or energy field, and it's like red right around where the aura starts, but then it fades out to pink and progressively gets lighter and goes to white. And it feels just like such a gentle, beautiful, um, like soft, loving glow. And I think that like spirit, I know that spirit is showing me that this tree and this glow and this softness is like you, and it represents you. And it represents where you are now, but it also represents like where you're going, like on this like journey that you're on, and it feels like your whole life has been this journey, but it feels like there's something that's like really awakening right now for you. This tree is blossoming and growing kind of like a flower, but it's also a tree. Um, and the tree's just standing firm and proud, and but also is allowing itself in its firmness and proudness to be soft and delicate and and you are this tree. Um, and also this tree is you. It's like it feels like very much like a two-way street. And that you can climb up and down the trunk of this tree, like you're rooted in the earth. You can go up it. You can, there's all of these branches and things to explore in this tree.
The spirit is showing me the scene of these woods, and I'm on the edge of the woods where maybe not the edge of the woods, but it comes to this clearing where there's a waterfall and a cave. And I'm seeing this line of mice that is, I can't even see the end of the line. Like it's a very long line of mice. And all of these little creatures, they're walking up to the waterfall, like to the side of the waterfall. There are these rocks that are piled on top of each other that make up this whole like cliff. And the rocks are huge and they're shiny and black. And I'm noticing this like um thing what Spirit is saying about like the size of the mice. They're very tiny. And then you have this huge rock and waterfall and this whole natural landscape that's just enormous. And but there's so many of these mice and they're walking up to it and they're not daunted. Like, oh, this we're going into this space and it's huge, and there's not that feeling of like, I'm really tiny, or whether they feel that or not, they keep going into the cave. They keep going on their journey. And I feel like Spirit is saying a few things about that is like, even if you feel like this little mouse and there's this huge journey or rock in front of you, just keep going. And also, you don't have to do it alone. Um, like they're traveling and there's like hundreds, if not thousands, of these mice. And, just that having that community or support as you go along this journey and this path that you're on, makes that feeling of, oh, I want to, my destination is something so big, but you can do it with the power of other people and with the support of other people. And once I got inside, it's like a back entrance is kind of what I'm going into. Like back behind the waterfall, there's a cave, and I can see the glow of a fire inside. And I can see women with crowns on their head. And I feel like the space is some kind of space that women would come to and do rituals. And it was feeling like a little past life-ish for you. Like maybe you were one of these women at some point. And I feel like they're kind of calling you back to this energy, into this space, and wanting you to awaken that power again. I'm going to sit for a second and see if they have something else to say. But that's all I'm seeing for now.
As you were bringing that information forward, Jacqueline, I could see it, but I was like back away from it. It's as if there was like a line of trees and a clearing and another sort of like the circle they were working in was like mostly surrounded by trees, but not completely. And I could see through the trees and the opening the fire that they were working around. And it was nighttime, and I could see there's the trees and the night and the fire, but I couldn't get close to it. I wasn't seeing it up close. I'm seeing it from a distance. But it's interesting again. Here's that element of the nighttime and fire. And somehow to the trees being connected to it.
I know this is going to sound a little, oh, sorry, a little funny. I just wanted to say this quickly is what I noticed one of the women in the cave, her crown, she's wearing a crown, and it's kind of tilted. Like it's almost like it's tilted, and if like she moves really quickly, it'll fall off. And there's someone I love on Instagram, and she just popped into my head with this message as I was seeing this like tilted crown, and she's basically saying like, put your crown on straight again and remember who you are. Like, don't let anyone let your crown fall, because you are divine and you deserve to be divine. Yep, that's it.
Jacqueline,
Mm-hmm.
are you still in that cave with them?
Yeah,
I've been to that cave
really. At what point?
in my meditations, in my dreams.
Wow.
Been to that waterfall.
Mm-hmm.
I've been there.
Wow, that's amazing. Well, spirit wants you to keep working there for sure. And definitely with this fire element. I mean, again, here's the fire, and and the cave with the women, and yeah, it's really strong message.
I just want them to know that I am ready. I don't know, but I'm ready. I want them to know I'm ready, but I don't know how to do it. But I know I'm guided, and I thank you.
Mhm. You know, as
I
you
think
were saying that, oh, sorry. I just wanted to say, like, as you were saying that, Jennifer, like, you are ready. So I was kind of standing out, not outside the cave, but like on the edge, so I could see in, but I wasn't in it. And as you were talking, they let me in, and I was standing, it's a very small, little tight space. And the one woman with the crown, she looked at me when you were saying that you were ready, and she looked at me and she tilted her head and she smiled, and she's basically saying, like, we know. And then she took her finger and she drew a blue spiral in the middle of the fire. And I'll sit with this for one more second, but I'm starting to see these like scrolls of papyrus that are open and they're hanging along the cave walls. And like there's a little table and with jars and like liquids and herbs and all kinds of stuff. Um, so yeah. Okay. Sorry, Dana, I know you had something to say, but really quick, I'm mind blown here. So just for reference, Jennifer, sometimes when we do these journeys, spirit will just they do all kinds of crazy things. Um, and just as I'm saying this out of nowhere, um, I live near a fire department and their sirens just went off. So that is definitely spirit saying something.
absolutely.
That's all I have.
Um,
Spirit's like, yes, work with the fire.
and maybe that's a way with them too. It could be something as simple as lighting a candle and staring into the fire. Um, when you guys were both in the cave and you're talking about that, what I was about to say is I'm outside by the clearing with the trees, and I feel like sometimes this feels to me absolutely 100% past life, but it also feels like there's a higher self connection too. Um, like an archetypal version of yourself is here in that cave always. But they were showing me this sort of map on old paper. So when you said papyrus, that was really it felt right. But there's almost this like map of how to get to the cave. But like, the way that you go to them is you're ready to go there. There, that you can just go there. Just shut your eyes and journey there and imagine yourself in the cave. And at first, you may have to kind of go through the terrain that I'm seeing outside with the trees and almost like you might have to find your path into the cave. And then once you get in there, it's going to be as simple as just shutting your eyes and you're going to be there with them. And as that keeps happening, it's going to get to the point where they're going to come to you and like, the cave is like not just a cave, but it's like everywhere. It'll just kind of like melt away into everywhere and into every aspect of your life. But it's so interesting you're seeing all the papyrus paper and stuff hanging because I feel like that's tying in again with the notebook and writing stuff down. And I feel like they're saying something too about writing for you as a way to get there. And I'm seeing a branch, like a branch is being put into the fire in the cave and then is being used to like go back out of the cave and through the forest and everything. It's just about the way being lit. And the way is lit already. there's this really lovely, peaceful energy coming over me that feels like it's going from my heart chakra outward. And it almost feels like if this cave has a place in your body, it's like in your heart chakra. It's like a cave of your heart. I feel like I'm seeing the fire in the fire pit that I was seeing before that you were sitting next to, but it's just like the last few dying embers of the fire. And for me, I'm feeling like everything that I was getting for you and everything that was coming forward it's kind of lifting. I feel very back in my body now.
Inhale. You want to close, Dana? I'm feeling back.
Yes.
I'm
Yes.
back in my body too.
Thank you, Spirit, for everything that you've shown us today, for everything that you've shared with us. Thank you for the lovely messages, for the messages about, connecting Jennifer with the tree and the fire and the cave, and the messages about going within, about the messages from, the butterfly and the women in the caves, and all of this thing about how we already has what she needs. She's already there. She's already on this beautiful journey. And we invite you in the coming days to continue to be with her, to surround her with love and light, and to continue to hold the space with her as she continues to let go and continue to step into her truer, higher divine self. We are deeply thankful for everything that you've shown us today. With that, the sacred circle is closed. Thank you, thank you, thank you.